On February 6, 1898, 6 of Seattle's most prominent theater owners gathered to discuss how to handle an ongoing musicians' strike. John Court, brothers John W. and Thomas J. Considine, H. L. Levitt, Mose Goldsmith and Arthur G. Williams headed down to the Moran Brothers shipyard on South Charles Street to make a plan. According to most popular accounts, after deciding to work together to settle the strike by using piano players to replace the musicians, the men began to discuss life. At that moment, the Order of Good Things was born. As their numbers grew, the order chose the bald eagle as their official emblem and changed the name of the organization to the Fraternal Order of Eagles, with a goal to make human life more desirable by lessening its ills and promoting peace, prosperity, gladness and hope. Touring theater troupes are credited with much of the Eagles' early growth. Most members were actors, stagehands and playwrights who carried the Eagles' story from town to town as they traversed the United States and Canada. The group's early motto, "Skin 'em," became the secret password to identify members, while the official motto was changed to "Liberty, Truth, Justice and Equality." Within 10 years of its inception, the organization boasted more than 1,800 Aries scattered throughout the United States, Canada and Mexico, with a membership exceeding 350,000. Members received free medical attention for themselves and their families, weekly payments in case of sickness and a funeral benefit, all valuable services before the widespread availability of medical, disability and life insurance. The organization quickly became a leader in influencing national politics, pushing to create Mother's Day and eventually Social Security, Medicare and more.
For more than a century, the second Sunday in May has been set aside to honor mothers everywhere, and it all started with a push from the Fraternal Order of Eagles. On February 7, 1904, Fraternal Order of Eagles past Grand Worthy President Frank E. Herring made a public plea to recognize mothers everywhere. A decade later, President Woodrow Wilson signed a proclamation making Mother's Day a reality. The achievement remains one of the most significant milestones in the history of the organization. From preparing brunch to buying cards and flowers, the spirit of Herring and the F.O.E. lives on through our actions each Mother's Day.
The Eagles' growing membership, comprised of many prominent local figures, held a position of great influence in communities everywhere. For years, women were accompanying male members of the order to social events. As early as 1914, women were in attendance for the organization's Grand Airy Convention, eventually inspiring them to being their own wing of the Eagles, the Ladies' Auxiliary. Pressure increased to formally recognize the auxiliary, and in January 1926, sitting Grand Worthy President Charles C. Gunther issued an official circular explaining that the time had come for definite action in regard to the formal creation of the auxiliary. When the Eagles assembled for the 28th Annual Grand Airy Convention in August 1926, delegates formally approved the formation of the Ladies' Auxiliary. On August 14, 1952, past Grand Worthy President Lester Lobel of Montana served as the instituting deputy for the Grand Auxiliary. Because Alta Browning Smith was a primary contributor in the organizing and instituting of the Grand Auxiliary, she was appointed the first Grand Madam President. Eagles continued their commitment to helping their own through the Memorial Foundation, which was designed to provide aid to the children of members who lost their lives in World War II. In 1967, the Jimmy Durante Children's Fund was established, providing financial aid to institutions aiming to help youth through medical research and prevention programs. The charity foundation continued to grow, establishing separate funds for a variety of causes as they became more prominent, ensuring all brothers and sisters facing illness could have hope for care and a cure. In 1985, blooming from a strong relationship with member and entertainer Danny Thomas, the Eagles became the first organization to top $1 million in donations to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. In 2008, the Fraternal Order of Eagles made a promise to help find a cure for diabetes, pledging $25 million to fund research efforts at the F.O.E. Diabetes Research Center at the University of Iowa. Since then, our money has helped fund significant breakthroughs in the field of diabetes. On July 13, 2014, the Fraternal Order of Eagles completed a $25 million pledge to the University of Iowa to fund the Fraternal Order of Eagles Diabetes Research Center, a comprehensive research facility dedicated to progressing diabetes research in hopes of one day finding a cure.
The Fraternal Order of Eagles stands strong behind the men and women who serve and protect us. To show our gratitude, we've created the Those Who Serve program, offering the first year of membership free to active and retired law enforcement officers, firefighters, emergency medical technicians, correctional officers, active military including National Guard and Reserves, volunteer firefighters and EMTs, and honorably discharged, retired, and active military. The Fraternal Order of Eagles is an international nonprofit organization uniting fraternally in the spirit of liberty, truth, justice, and equality, to make human life more desirable by lessening its ills and promoting peace, prosperity, gladness, and hope. The F.O.E. donates more than $10 million a year to local communities, fundraisers, charities, and more. As part of its philosophy, the F.O.E. gives back 100% of monies raised in the form of grants. Fundraisers are conducted for 8 major charities, including kidney, heart, diabetes, cancer and spinal cord injury funds, a children's fund, Memorial Foundation, and the Golden Eagle Fund.
Noteworthy members: Theodore R. Roosevelt, former U.S. President. Warren G. Harding, former U.S. President. Franklin D. Roosevelt, former U.S. President. Harry S. Truman, former U.S. President. John F. Kennedy, former U.S. President. Ronald Reagan, former U.S. President. Bob Hope, comedian, performer. Max Baer, boxer, heavyweight champion. Gordie Howe, Hockey Hall of Fame.
William Allen Egan, Governor, Alaska. Tony Stewart, NASCAR driver. James Buescher, 2012 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion. Billy Ray Cyrus, musical performer. Tony Orlando, musical performer. Lee Greenwood, musical performer. Louise Mandrell, musical performer. Neil McCoy, musical performer. Bess Truman, wife of former U.S. President. Eleanor Roosevelt, wife of former U.S. President. Virginia Graham, radio and TV personality. Susan Wagner, wife of New York Mayor Robert Wagner.